guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing really well. I'm actually really excited for today's video. I've been like, when you have a pet dog and you make them sit in front of you and then you put like a piece of cheese on the end of their nose and they just have to sit there looking at the cheese. Somehow this beauty video has already turned into a metaphor about dogs and cheese. I don't know how that's happened. If I was going to give this video a normal person introduction, I'd say, hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to test the new Primark eyeshadows. A few videos back I uploaded a big, enormous, gigantic October Primark haul. But one of the most exciting things I picked up from that Primark trip was actually something from the beauty department, and that was their brand new custom eyeshadow palette. So, drum roll please, here is the outside of my palette in all its untouched, beautiful, pristine glory. It's got a few fingerprints on it because I'm just a gross person, but ignore that. So please can we all be upstanding for my very own Primark customise 9-shade eyeshadow palette. As you can probably tell, a lot of thought has gone into this. I've spent years creating such a beauty. So from top left across, we have a matte shade called Bone, a matte pink called Peony, a shimmer called Stripped. The second row, I have got a shimmer called Gold Digger, another shimmer called Sunkissed, a matte taupey shade called Earth, and then on the bottom row, I have a matte shade called Brick, a shimmer called Hot Cocoa, and a pop of blue shimmer called Tidal. But the most important part of this whole thing that I need to remember to tell you, so I'm gonna say it before I forget, the most amazing thing about this is that while the palette itself is £3, did I say? Yeah, £3. The eyeshadows themselves are a grand total of 60p each. What? I'm pretty sure that's like cheaper than a Freddo in this day and age, or at least like not far off the same price as a Freddo. This whole palette with 9 very lovely looking shades in it cost me £8.40, I think. I've just tried to do that maths in my head without a calculator because I'm a grown adult who should be able to do these things. Can confirm, just double checked on a calculator. £8.40, amazing value, such a bargain for a palette that is full of shades that you will actually use. So I'm gonna stop rambling now. I'm super excited to try these. I literally have not even swatched them yet. So I have no idea how this is gonna go. I wanted this to be like a proper first impressions video. Before I begin, disclaimer, if you haven't seen my channel before, hello, nice to meet you, I'm Lucy. I do a beauty series on my channel called Average Girl Tries. I always say that it's pretty much what it says on the tin, in the fact that I am a very average girl and my makeup and beauty skills are the most average that it gets, like so painfully average. So yeah, my skills aren't great, just bear that in mind, but it'll be interesting to see whether these 60p eyeshadows actually work a treat or not. So I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit before we get started. Hello, you're alarmingly close to my face. As you can see, I've done my base makeup as I normally would. Got a bit of foundation, concealer, eyebrows are done, got some nice highlight going on. But I have left my eyes completely untouched. But just to make this a fair test, I am going to pop a little bit of eyeshadow primer on because I do tend to get quite oily eyelids and find that shadows tend to crease on me and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I know it's like a super budget money saver, but there's no mirror in this palette, which I literally instinctively just went to look in and then realised that it doesn't actually have a mirror in. Each of the little pans that you pop in the palette, let me show you what they look like. They're each magnetised so they stick properly into the palette when you're moving it around, which is really handy. So just for the sake of like easiness, I'm going to refer to these as the proper name that they've got, and I even wrote that down so I didn't have to dig the pans out every time. So in the top left corner shade here, I've just got this very simple plain and neutral matte shade which is called Bone. I'm gonna just pop that all over the lid to kind of like neutralize the color a bit. Obviously this isn't the most exciting color to start with, but a neutral shade is always really handy. So far so good. Not the most exciting start to be honest, but it looks fine. It's blended out fine, and it looks like there's gonna be an okay base for me to stick everything else on top of. I want to go straight in with what I think is probably going to be my favourite shadow of the whole palette, and that is this on the bottom left here. It's this kind of burnt orangey brown colour. I'm just going to use a fluffy brush to take a little bit of that through my crease. I sound like such a pro. Do you know what, now that I'm looking at it closer, that Bone shade has actually got a bit of shimmer to it, which I feel may scupper my plan somewhat. I thought that was completely matte. In the pan it looks totally matte. That's weird. Anyway, back to Brick. Let's see how we get on with this and see if the shimmer is gonna get in the way of things. And it seems to be blending pretty nicely, but I'm not sure if maybe it's a little bit patchy, which is a bit of a shame. I'm gonna just try a slightly fluffier brush and see if that gets me any further. Can you tell I don't really know what I'm doing? Don't know if you can see, it's got like a little bit of like weird patchiness to it around here, which I think is where it's kind of like catching a little bit on the last shade that I just put on, which is a little bit annoying. But then I do keep reminding myself that this eyeshadow is like the same price as a packet of fruit pastels. Oh, I really like this colour, you know. This brick colour is right up my street. This is exactly the kind of colour that I use pretty much on the daily from my Naked Heat palette, and that one probably works out at about like £6 an eyeshadow or something. Okay, so far, kind of so good, I'm gonna say. I mean, I'm not blown away by like how super easy they were to apply or anything. Next, I just have to use this because it looks so nice. Should we do a little swatch and see what it looks like really concentrated? This is the colour Sunkissed, by the way, and I feel like this is gonna be a good one. I mean, well, that's quite good, isn't it? So I'm gonna pop this bad boy, I can't get over that, that looks amazing, all over my lid and see how we get on with that. Can you tell I'm making this up as I go along? So I'm gonna pack that on with some kind of brush. I mean, this flat one probably looks like a good choice. And let's see if it ends up all over my face, down to my chin, on my knees, touching my toes, with fallout, let's see. Oh my God, that is literally going everywhere, whoopsie. So if you hate fallout, I mean, that's not ideal. I can literally see like a line there. It also hasn't really translated very well onto my lid. I can see more in this line here than I can actually on my eyelid, which isn't great. How can I fix this? This always happens when I do a makeup video. Something goes wrong and I'm like, I don't know how to fix this. Send help. When in doubt, get the cotton wool out. Oh, that was the wrong thing to do. Okay, we're just gonna have to ignore that for now. It's kind of added to my highlight. I'll pretend that that's true. Okay, I think maybe the way to test this fairly, as much as I can, is to try and apply that same shade having wet the brush. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but it's kind of picked up the colour in like chunks now. So I don't know how this is gonna go. This is so annoying. I want you to work. Why won't you be good? I'm rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Right, this is the last chance I'm giving it. This is the third wet brush attempt to see how we can make this work. Ooh. Hang on a second. That actually looks quite pretty now. You can actually kind of see some shimmer. It's nowhere near as like bam as I wanted it to be, but it's better than we had before. So you need a dense wet brush and a lot of patience to pack it on top of itself. That's the way to do it. But we got there. I've ruined the rest of my face, but it was all worth it. This Sunkissed shade is like one of those relationships that you get into and you're like your late teens and your 20s and you know they're really bad for you and you know it's not working, but you're just determined to make it work and prove everybody wrong. You lose your friends, you lose your foundation and your concealer and your highlight, but it's all worth it to make this one relationship work because it shows so much potential. And you might get there in the end, you might make it work together, but at what cost? I mean, look at the state of this. I'm gonna try and darken this up a little bit on the outside, and that involves using another shimmer. Is this a bad idea? You can see the mess I've made now of Sunkissed. Look at the state of it. It looks like I sneezed into it. But I'm gonna go for this shade down at the bottom here, which is Hot Cocoa. I'm gonna pop that over here. Okay, that's a lot darker than I was expecting. Woo! I think because the last one didn't do what I thought it was gonna do, I was expecting this one to also not do what I thought it was gonna do. I've absolutely, I mean, it's dead and buried, isn't it? I don't think I even need to put any more on my brush for this side. I think I'm just gonna use what's left. Can you tell that I wasn't expecting that to happen? I don't even know what to do with it now. This has got way too complex for my abilities. When in doubt, just blend as much as you physically can and hope that it all blends away and you can start again. Although I'm not doing a particularly great job at applying these, the shades themselves are actually blending together really nicely. On further inspection, I actually think that dark colour needs to come like under my eyes a little bit. And now because I never wear makeup like this, I think I just look a bit like I've been punched. But we'll roll with that, that's fine. This might seem like a rogue decision, and I feel like this may be my downfall, if there hasn't already been a downfall, which I feel probably happened a long time ago. My palette has a bit of a random long lost cousin hiding in the bottom right hand corner. This is the shade Tidal. I'm definitely gonna feel all the regrets about this when it goes horribly wrong, but let's give it a try. I'm hopeful. I feel like this could be good. I wish I was cool enough to like drag it down to about here like the Olsons have it, but I mean, I'm definitely not. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I feel like I need to stop soon because this is definitely turning into a case of just like over messing with things and ruining them. So the last thing that I feel like I've just got to try is actually a 10th shade that I picked up, and I haven't put this in the palette because it's just not really my cup of tea. So this is the shade Icy, and as you can see, this is very much a stark white highlight shimmer shade. I haven't swatched it yet. I thought I'd do it on camera. Huh. I mean, that's quite bold. So I figured just for lols, because this whole look is a bit of a lol really. It just doesn't suit me stuff like this, does it? Let's see how that looks, just kind of like on my brow bone and in the inner corner. That is basically just glitter. That is much too glittery. That is literally just glitter. It's not even like, I wouldn't even call that highlight. I'd just call it like flecks of glitter, which isn't what I wanted. Oh, I'm looking at my face and there's just so much that I need to fix here. This is just such a disaster. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. If you're gonna go out and get this, do not get that shade. That is rubbish. That looks like something that you'd get in like a kid's makeup set. I mean, it picks up well in the light and stuff and like under studio lights, but in person that literally looks ridiculous. I may as well have just got a glitter glue and been like, blah, blah, on my eyebrow. I also need to blend these bits out slightly because they look weird. Next thing on the list is to add in some eyeliner and some mascara to make this look vaguely normal. Fingers crossed, please make this look normal. So I will go and do that and then I will return. Right, that's done a good job at balancing things out a little bit more. But before I go and clean up my face to show you like a final thing, I just had to show you this. Like, this is ridiculous. And I actually don't think that that's my fault either. But there is glitter, I'm not joking, all over my face. Like, it's all over my nose. There's like blue that's come down here. The only time this much sprinkling is okay is if you're going for an ice cream and the ice cream man asks if you want sprinkles and you say, yes, please. Right, now that I've shown you that, I'm gonna go and quickly clean up my face and I will show you what this all looks like with a proper lip on and actual normal looking foundation and things like that. I mean, it's not looking good, is it? It's not looking good for us, let's be honest. Okay, so after a whole lot of beauty blender dabbing, quite a considerable amount of foundation removing and putting back on, I feel like I might have saved it. All that's left to do now is pop a little bit of lipstick on to try and like balance out my face a little bit more. I've done my eyebrows, so that kind of helps, but I feel like I need something going on here. So there you have it, guys. This is what I've managed to create with my custom Primark palette. I'm not gonna say it was an easy ride. I feel like from start to finish, every one of those colours that I used had a little bit of an issue. And that's coming from someone who's not that fussy about eyeshadows either. Like, I've got a fairly decent collection of eyeshadow palettes now, and they range from like the cheapest of cheap, all right, maybe not like 60p cheap, but like drugstore prices, all the way up to like pretty expensive. And I never really know enough about them to be able to like differentiate the two particularly. But I feel like these colours, I could tell a little bit that they weren't the best of the bunch. I think the finished look, now that I've paired it with some actual like clean cheekbones and don't look like a dirty orphan child covered in brown, I think it looks really pretty and I really actually quite like the way that it's turned out. But I do have to say that there is a mixed bag of quality in here. So I think it's gonna be a try your luck for 60p kind of scenario if you're interested in this. Managed to rein it in at the end there, but I'm gonna be honest, they weren't the easiest of shadows to get to grips with. I think they just need a little bit of a play around so you can figure out how they work best, what kind of brush they take to best, whether you should wet them first or not, and that kind of thing. So if you happen to have 60p in your pocket and a little bit of time to spend playing around with them, I reckon these are actually all right. And if that isn't a rave review, I don't know what is, so I think it's about time I wrap this up. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please do give it a little thumbs up and get involved down in the comments below. Let's have a chat about this whole Primark customized thing. Have you tried it for yourself yet? Have you picked up any of the bargain shadows? Are there any that you've got your eye on? Let me know. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at LucyJaneWood, and I will see you guys next time with another video.